Hey tech heads, Vina here. In today's video, you'll find out what all you should check before you take home your newly delivered MG4. There's quite a lot, so don't underestimate the preparation and get ready to be more informed than your dealer. Now, you're bound to be excited about the car, and it's very easy to miss some of these things when you take delivery and then have to visit the dealership over and over again to take care of a bunch of silly little things. So if you just take this checklist with you and make sure you take a look at these things, you'll save yourself a whole world of trouble and a whole lot of time. I got the idea to make this video when I was reading a list from the user HamD01 on my favorite MG forum. So thanks so much to him for posting it, and I do hope that this video helps to spread that information to even more future MG4 owners. First up are the by now well-known oil leaks in certain series MG4s. So before you take home your new MG4, make sure to check the area around the rear axle to make sure that there's no oil dripping onto the ground anywhere. The oil does drip onto the cover under the rear electric motor first, so it does take a little bit of time to reach the ground, but hopefully by the time you pick it up, it will have been long enough for this issue to manifest if it does in fact exist in your MG4. It doesn't happen in all of them, just certain ones. Now, the oil leak was first supposedly caused by too much oil being added during production and a bad breather valve design. Now, that has since been redesigned, but unfortunately for some users, this still hasn't solved the leak problem. So I'm going to show you this photo from user KDP from the mgevs.com forum. This is what the new rear axle reduction gearbox breather valve looks like. And as you can see, it's mounted on a tube, so it is a bit higher up. That is supposed to have solved the issue. And here in the video, you can see that the original valve and the oil leak from it. As you can see, the oil is dripping down onto the chassis covers, and it must take a long time to start dripping all the way to the ground. Unfortunately, at this time, the solution to this oil leak is not clear. Some owners continue to have oil leaks even with a new valve and with the correct amount of oil in the reducer. So if you do consider this really minor oil leak to be a major issue, you should probably avoid the MG4. Now, for me, as an engineering fan, it is an interesting little issue, and it reminds me of tuning motorcycles in the driveway. Now, who would have thought that oil leakage would be a problem in an electric car? I certainly didn't expect that because EVs really only have oil in the reduction gearbox. But here we are. So personally, I'd probably have a go at it myself and try to figure out a way to solve this leak, maybe using a different bleeder valve or an even longer hose. Or do you need to sort out the valve location in a different place in the reducer? So I think it could be a fun little issue, but of course, unless you have a workshop to fiddle around in or some handy friends, you'd probably either have to put up with this oil leak if it occurs, or just not buy the MG4 at all, unfortunately. Next up is the Undertray dip or bulge. So before you take the car home, be sure to check the cover under the rear engine. Yes, it's the one that drips oil onto when the leak occurs. On some MG4s, this is poorly fitted from the factory, and it creates a bulge which, unfortunately, it goes against the direction of travel. So all the crap from the road climbs directly into your electric motor and its surroundings. Plus, at higher speeds, you can only imagine what kind of noise it can cause. So check out the pics next to me. These are pics from members on the MGEVs forum. As you can see, it's just a bent plastic cover, probably because the mounting bolt holes are a bit off the axis. The repair will be simple again, and you can see in this photo how it should look. Of course, there should be no bulge. Either the dealer will adjust the holes or install plastic reinforcements to support the cover, and the problem is solved. So again, it is a minor detail, but honestly, when it was fitted at the factory, the workers must have seen that it was fitted wrong. Unfortunately, they probably didn't have time to adjust it in the time allowed for the job. So I can sympathize with them, but of course that doesn't make it any less annoying for the end user. So if you don't want to fix the cover yourself, which, hey, I don't blame you for not wanting to do, you just bought a new car. So be sure to point that out before you take the car over, because you don't want to waste your time with another visit to the dealership over such a little thing. You don't want to have to, go back and forth with them. Just take care of it right away. If you're watching this as an owner of an MG4, have you encountered this oil leak or an Undertray bulge in your MG4? And has it been successfully resolved? Please let me know your experiences in the comments. I'd love to hear it. You'll also want to check the display in front of the driver for a TPMS or a tire pressure monitoring system error. Some MG4 users have reported this problem and had to visit a service center to have it repaired. Of course, this should be checked by the dealer before handing over the car, but you know what they say. Trust but verify. This is doubly true with the MG4. Now, this particular issue seems to just be a case of poor translation, and this notification simply means that you have low tire pressure. Lots of users report that after inflating to the correct value, the message just disappeared from the display. So this should be the case. My recommendation here is keep the wheels on your MG4 inflated to 2.6 to 2.7 bar so that the TPMS doesn't trigger the low pressure warning on a cold morning. How much do you inflate the wheels on your MG4? And have you encountered any reports of low tire pressure? Was it this TPMS system error? Let me know. Up next, check your windshield washer jets. Sometimes these are set wrong from the factory and the fluid ends up splashing onto the edge of the hood instead of spraying onto your windshield. Now, just imagine how annoying that is to find out when you need them while driving. And honestly, I don't think that most dealers will test this before they hand the car over. So, before you take the car home, just test those bad boys out real quick. Have you tried adjusting the washer jets at home? If you have had to do that, let me know how it went. You'll also want to check the front window glass attachments. Some owners have reported excessive noise and rattling of the front passenger window while driving. This is an annoying fault, but I do believe that the solution is very simple, but rather it should be done by a mechanic that can remove the door panels without causing any damage. Have you guys encountered this problem? Some owners have also reported badly fitted or creased seat fabric, so you might want to do a once-over of the seat covers to make sure that they are indeed fitted properly. Now, on the MG forum, there was a poll about the MG4 SE seats, and 53% of the MG4 owners responding do think that the MG4 seats are quite comfortable and they have no issues at all. So why spoil your impression and take away from the comfort with poorly fitted factory covers, right? So just make sure you check those before you leave. And if they're not fitted properly, make sure that they take care of that before you take the car home. You might also want to check the rear light cluster plastics for damage or discoloration. Some people have reported issues with this upon delivery. So this is quite a nice feature on the MG4 and you don't want it to look bad, so make sure to check that out as well. And finally, check that the side trims, the plastic between the sills and the doors, are seated properly. There have been some reports of them being loose and the proper connectors not being in suite. So this is another small thing that you want to make sure that is on there right so that your new ride is pleasant and perfect. So as you see, the list is a bit on the long side, but they're all just pretty much minor birth pains of the new model. The MG4 makes up for it with a great price and a very good ride and handling experience. Please let me know in the comments if you've encountered any glitches when you took delivery of your new MG4 so that we can help other people, when they get their new car to avoid the same issues. And please be sure to let me know if you think that the MG4 is worth these birthing pains and if you're overall happy with it despite some possible small glitches, or if you would prefer to return it to the manufacturer. Judging by the sales that are hitting the top of the charts, I'm guessing it's hopefully the former, but I'd love to hear from you. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and all that good stuff. Thank you all for watching, and I will catch you next time.